In today's video, we are diving into some key stats like inflation, unemployment data, and that recent jumbo rate cut by the Bank of Canada. I'll be also sharing my candid take on what's really happening in the market right now, and we'll wrap things up with what to expect heading into 2025. It's going to be packed with value, so stay tuned and let's dive right in. Hello and welcome. If this is your first time to this channel and you're wondering who am I, my name is Dharmesh Dixit. I'm a local real estate agent serving Kitchener-Waterloo and surrounding towns, and I help many families relocate in and around KWC, and I absolutely love it. So whether you're thinking of moving in 9 days or 9 months, be sure to reach out. You can call me, text me, email me, or even schedule a Zoom call. All the info is right below. I'll be more than happy to help you and family make a smooth move in and around KWC. Let's kick things off by looking at the latest CPI data for the month of September, which just came out this past week. Inflation is now sitting at 1.6%, which is comfortably within the Bank of Canada's target of 2%. This made it pretty obvious for the Bank of Canada to go ahead with their first jumbo rate cut of 50 basis points this week. But if you listen to the full briefing from the Governor Malcolm, the bank is now getting increasingly concerned about the softening economy and the very fact that the higher rate environment has caused more economic pain than what was necessary. And if you look around, it is pretty evident looking at the current labor market conditions, which we will dive into deeper very shortly in later part of this video, and the higher cost of living that we are all facing at the moment. Mainstream media is painting a pretty rosy picture of the job market because unemployment dropped slightly from 6.6 to 6.5. But if you dig a little deeper, things don't look as good as they are making it seem. According to a report published by RBC Economics, which I've linked below, the population growth of people actively looking for jobs is outpacing actual job growth. That is why RBC is tracking unemployment to actually climb higher, possibly reaching 7% over the next few months, which is way above even the pandemic levels when part of the economy was completely shut down. And to top things up, economists are now saying that the GDP growth for Q3 2024 will likely come in much lower than their 2.8% forecast. So it's something to keep an eye on. The next big update will be the CPI data release on November 19th, which will give us a clearer picture of what Bank of Canada might do in their December rate announcement. Meanwhile, in the US, their job market came out stronger than expected, and Feds are likely to keep their rate cut cycle going to prevent any downward pressure on the US economy. Now let's switch gears and look at some key real estate market data. We are seeing over 4 months of inventory for townhomes and about 2.5 months for detached homes here in Waterloo region. That's a decent amount of supply and plenty of options for buyers. The sales to new listing ratio has dropped into the 40% range, down from 55 in the previous month. What does this mean? Well, buyers are gaining control and we are clearly shifting into the buyer's market in theory. We haven't fully seen the effects of these recent rate cuts on the broader market yet, but from what I've observed, more buyers are coming out of the bushes over the past couple of months, and this may seem contrary to what the data suggested, but sellers are starting to feel more confident, especially those turnkey starter homes are getting great response from first-time homebuyers. In fact, I'm seeing well-priced homes flying off the shelves relatively quickly these days. The overall sentiment for 2025 is looking positive, and I would say there are still some great deals out there right now for the buyers in today's market. Honestly, I was expecting a slower fall and winter market for myself, but I've been busier than usual. More buyers are coming off the fence these days. Just remember, rate cuts are lagging indicators, not the leading. So it takes a few months for the impact of these rate cuts to show up in the market data. So the real effect of these cuts will probably become more evident by spring to summer of 2025. That's when I do expect buyer confidence to really pick up, and we could be looking at a busy spring market for the next year. On top of that, we have got several mortgage reforms that were announced by Finance Ministry over the past few weeks, which will be coming into the play by end of this year and early next year, which could further boost demand. Currently, economists and major banks are forecasting the overnight rate to drop around 2% by mid-2025, and looking at the data, that seems very much possible. We'll probably see another 50 basis point cut in December, bringing us eventually closer to that 2% mark by the middle of next year. But of course, that will depend on the economic data that comes out in the next few weeks and how Feds approach their own rate cut cycle moving forward. After all, Bank of Canada does not have unlimited room to diverge from the US policy without risking a sudden drop in loonie, which could lead to even higher inflation. Now, here is the most important thing that I want to leave you with, and that's do not buy out of FOMO. Yes, there are some great opportunities in the market right now. Just this last Friday, we were able to negotiate $20,000 off the purchase price with a very well-known builder here in Kitchener for a townhome purchase, which was a pretty sweet deal if you ask me. But don't let that rush you into buying if it's not the right time for you and your family. The data and the market conditions are helpful for decision making, but at the end of the day, your personal situations matters the most. You don't want to make a decision based on fear of missing out only to regret it later. Now, if you found this video helpful, be sure to give it a thumbs up, subscribe to this channel, and tap that bell so you are the first to learn about the current market in and around KWC. And hey, whether you are thinking of moving in 9 days or 9 months, be sure to reach out. All my contact info is right below. I'll be more than happy to help you and family relocate in and around KWC. Until next time, well, I do hope to show you around town.